Okay, hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Kashif Kamran and today I am conducting a session on my social media channels which is about failure in the AAA paper and the importance of reading the examiner reports. Now, it's been like a week since the results are announced. And ever since the results are announced for AAA, there are loads of messages which I am receiving every day with students asking that why am I failing the AAA paper or why I have failed for the first time in the AAA paper? What are underlying reasons of failure or what should I do next for the March 24 exams? Now, to me, the answers of all these questions lies in reading of the examiner report, and the importance of examiner report is what I need to reinforce and discuss today, because ever since I am teaching the AAA paper, I have been very vocal and I've been emphasizing in each and every exam session the importance of students reading the examiner reports. But again, probably the students are not either reading the examiner report or they're not doing justice to it when they are reading it. So I just need to speak of that today. And if you have any questions during the session about examiner reports and its importance, you are more than welcome to ask it. Now, first of all, what I believe is that when you look at an examiner report and the December 23 examiner report is out, right? So you can go and download it and read it. Examiner reports gives you like a very sort of a constructive feedback, and that constructive feedback is on the overall exam sitting, and then they give you a constructive feedback on a question by question basis. So they will give you a feedback on question one, what was good and what was bad. They will give you a feedback on question two, what was good and what was bad. And then the same goes with question number three. And they will also give you a overall conclusion of the whole exam sitting, that what were the key areas where the student performed well and what were the areas where the student struggled. So if you make a habit of reading the examiner reports, and I normally prefer that the student should read at least three latest examiner reports ahead of your March 24 exams, because that will really give you an idea about why the student is failing the AAA paper. Because most of the time, the student either run after the books, the kit, or they run after the examiner answers. I've never seen students either running after examiner reports or examiner articles. These are two documents which are not explored very well by the student community. The three popular documents among the student community is the revision kit, is the textbook, or maximum they're running after examiner answers, and they're very obsessed with examiner answer. They're not investigating why am I failing. Examiner answer is not telling you why you are failing. Examiner report is telling you why you are failing, and you're least bothered about putting your time and your investment on reading the examiner reports. And I will be clarifying how you should read it, because it's very important that when you're reading a document, you know the systematic approach of reading the document, because that at the end of the day would give you the right guidance of how you should aim at success for your upcoming March 24 exams. So, to me, what you should do, particularly the students who are failing, continuously failing in the AAA paper. Now, I received messages. This was my fourth attempt. This was my sixth attempt. This was my third attempt. And the student saying, I'm failing for 43, 47, 46. Why am I not passing? You're not passing because you're not self evaluating yourself. Sit down, self evaluate yourself. Keep the examiner report in front of you, the December 23 one, the latest one. Keep that in front of you, read it through. And when you're reading it through and you've failed the AAA paper, so when you're reading it through, try to identify the sentences of the examiner where the examiner says weaker students, or where the examiner is saying any criticism, any negative point. Particularly, the examiner says weaker students. Try to underline that with a red pen. And then Across the reading of the examiner report, wherever you come across a weaker student para or a weaker student sentence, hold on, underline that with red, and just read it twice and see whether that relates to you. Are you doing the same mistake? Because probably if you can find a couple of red points from the examiner report which relates with you, you are identifying the bonus marks which you can get in the March 24 exam sitting. So if you are failing at 44 or 46 or 47, you need those 3, 4, 5 marks to pass. But from where will that come from? Are you ready to fine tune yourself? You are not, because you're not reading examiner reports. So I believe that reading examiner report is extremely important, because that would identify the red areas, the red flags for you, and you can relate them with yourself. And you can say, oh, this is the mistake I was also doing, or this is the mistake I was doing for the last 3 exam sittings. And then you can identify that. And then when you sit down to practice for March 24, ensure that when you are practicing, you are avoiding those red areas or red flags when again sitting down and practice for March 24 exams. So if you can do your self analysis, your self evaluation as a student in light of the examiner report, and you can identify the reasons why students are failing, and you can relate those reasons with yourself, put them down, make a summary, says, oh, these are top 10 reasons, these are top 15 reasons why students are failing. Then sit down and practice. Now, you cannot practice without examiner report. You should first read examiner report and say, okay, why the student underperform in an audit risk question, or why a student underperform in a business risk question, or why a student underperform in audit procedures, or why does a student underperform in a quality management question. Try to identify reasons of failure for quality management, for business risk, for audit risk, for procedures, for reporting. If you're reading across 3 examiner reports, you will find plenty of them. Make a summary, go through that summary, absorb that summary in your mind, and then start to practice recent 5 to 6 exam papers from 23, 22, 21, the recent past papers you have on the practice platform. You will see a remarkable improvement in your way of answering. Examiner answer is not the solution to success. Examiner report is the solution to success, and students' tendency of reading examiner report is very, very low. I saw a message of a student. He says, this was my 6th exam sitting for AAA. I'm failing in 40s. What should I do? I asked him, have you ever bothered about reading examiner reports in the last 6 exam sittings? And he said, what is that? I've never heard about it, because he was so obsessed doing the revision kits. He said, I've done the Kaplan revision kit, I've done the BPP revision kit 2 times in every exam sitting. But what is the bottom line? Are you getting success from that? No. But have you ever bothered about reading examiner reports? And I did his counseling. And he said, okay, I'll sit down now. I'll read the examiner reports. And over the 1 week time, I'll present you my summary, what I've made from examiner reports. And I'll tell you, okay, these are my reasons of failure. The students ask me why I failed. I tell them, read the examiner report and identify why you failed and tell me the summary, that these are reasons why I failed. Then I can tell you what to do. So at times, you directly ask a question to the tutor why I failed, whereas you should have investigated those reasons yourself and presented a summary to your tutor through email or WhatsApp and saying, okay, these are my reasons of failure. Now tell me what's my next step. So I believe you're all getting this message of realizing the importance of reading through the examiner reports, because that is extremely important. Now, number two, when you're reading uh, through the examiner reports, please ensure you keep a red pen with you, because you need to be very critical of underlining and marking the areas where the students are weaker at. So you need to read it in a very organized manner, in a very perfect manner, because that will really help you fine tune the quality of the answer you're writing for the March exam. And this is not just for the failure students, right? This is also for the students appearing for AAA for the first time in March. that please start looking into the examiner reports. They're extremely important. I've done a couple of sessions on YouTube on examiner reports, and I will be doing a December 23 examiner report session soon on my YouTube channel as well, just to facilitate and just to guide and just to reinforce the message that how important is it to read through the examiner reports. So please ensure you start investing into that. Particularly, the students who are failing continuously in AAA. You need to ask a question to yourself. Have you ever wondered how productively have you used the examiner reports? Have you used it even once in the last 3 failings, 4 failings, and 5 failings? And the feedback I got and the analysis I do, the percentage is very low of students reading the examiner reports, even though that is a key resource published by ACCA. So my message is that 2 to 3 latest examiner reports. December 23 is out. Immediately once the result was out on the 15th of January. So please ensure a thorough reading of the examiner reports, identifying the reasons of failure on a topic by topic basis, trying to relate those with yourself, trying to investigate why the students are failing, and is some reasons applicable to me as a student. If you can identify that, you have found your success. You have already found your success for March 24. But if you're still not reading the examiner reports, you are running after revision kits. I'll do the BBP kit. I'll do the Kaplan kit. I'll just go through every question of the past paper two times. That's not the success, right? Quantity is not the success. Quality is the success. And quality is the recent past papers on the practice platform. And quality is the reading of the 3 latest examiner reports before you start practicing if you are a failed student. If you are a first attempt student, you will first practice. After practice, you will read the examiner report to identify, okay, what was wrong in my practice. But if you are a failed student, you will read examiner reports first before you practice. Please listen to that very carefully. If you are a failed student, reports first, practice after. If you are a first time student, practice first, and then after you've practiced, read the examiner report and see, okay, what is wrong in my answer? Self evaluate your answer, self mark your answer in light of the examiner reports and learn from it. So these are 2 possible ways, right? You can go through. Okay, I'm getting some questions. There is a question from a student. Sir, is AAA doable for a full-time student in a remaining time for March attempt? If you're starting now, considering how challenging the AAA paper is and looking at the pass rates of the AAA paper, I would believe if you're starting from zero today, then the answer is no. You should aim for June. But if you've already done like 20-25% by now, and in the remaining 45 days, you can just give up your 200%, that's perfectly fine. So in that case, it's doable. So thank you that very much for that question. Okay, so back to the agenda, we were discussing importance of examiner reports for a student who is failing or who has failed for the first time, and the students who are appearing for the first time in the AAA exams in March. I hope you're getting this message. I hope I am capable of disseminating this message among all the AAA student community that you should start realizing the examiner report as your foremost document you should prioritize for the next 45 days. You should change your exam strategy. It's not about revision kits. It's not about doing 100% questions. It's about doing quality questions, the one on the practice platform, reading exam reports, 2 to 3 of them, and see what remarkable impact you will get in your pass percentage and passing prospects in your upcoming exams for March 24. Okay, there is another question, sir. Just to take lectures and revise the lectures of the whole notes, it takes almost at least 10 days, which takes us to February 15 to 20 when practice. Okay, ideally, you should finish off your course by 15th Feb. And post 15th Feb, you should start doing the practice of the recent papers on the practice platform. You know, this time your AAA exam is not on Monday, it is on Thursday. So you're getting some 3 bonus days, right? So if by 15th you can finish off technically the AAA, And post 15th, you can sit down and start practicing at least a paper a day. That would be good. And then you can read some examiner reports, improve upon the quality of the answer. So I think that's excellent if you can finish off by 15th. Okay, there's another question from a student, a song. Can a person who failed AAA in December 23 take the paper alongside SBL? A song, it depends upon how much have you prepared yourself in SBL by now. So if you're already done your SPL like 50% when the result was out, and you got to know you failed in AAA, then because in AAA you just need to do the fine tuning. You just need to do the practice of the recent papers and read a couple of examiner reports as I'm guiding you today. So I think in that context it's doable. But today on the 23rd of Jan, if your SBL preparation is like under 20%, and you're thinking about doing the remaining 80% SPL with practice in the later days, I think then that would be a very, very big challenge. In that case, you just need to defer one paper to like June, and ideally do AAA in March and then do SPL in June. But if you've done already 50% of SPL by now, then I think you can go with both of them. That's perfectly fine. Okay, I hope all the students who were raising questions, you have got your answers. And if any student have any further questions, we have another 5-7 minutes before the session gets wrapped up. So you have an opportunity of asking questions around your failure and what you should be planning for March 24 or June 24 exams. Okay, I hope you're all getting the message of importance of examiner reports and how many you have to read. And the latest December 23 is out. And the importance of self-evaluating yourself, right? In light of the examiner report, that is very, very important. Because examiner report, when you're reading through it, it will tell you stronger student, and you will say, oh, this is what a stronger student do to pass. And then the examiner report will say weaker student, oh, this is what the weaker student do and that's why he failed. So you get a good analysis of like stronger students and weaker students, and you can just learn from it. The weaker student, uh, that means why you're failing. A stronger student, the one who's passing or even becoming a place winner, scoring 70 marks in the AAA paper, 74 marks in AAA paper, 80 marks in AAA paper. So you can learn from that analysis and try to find the right definition of success. Okay, there is a question, though that's not relevant to the session today, but Morris is asking a question. Does quality management now comes in every AAA paper? Yes, since September 22, it's almost coming in every exam setting because we saw the change of the standards. The quality management standards came in, replacing the quality control standards. And since then, it has been a very emphasizable area. And I believe it will continue for few more exam settings. It used not to come in every exam setting before, but since the changes, it's coming in every exam setting. But I believe the same would go in for the next couple of exam settings. Morris, I hope you're getting the answer. Okay, there's another question from Muhammad Faisal Tawfiq. Sir, how many set of past paper exams is good enough to crack the exam? Muhammad Faisal, the one on the practice platform, I think there are like 7 to 8 papers on the practice platform, 8 perhaps, and the mock exam coming up. So I think those are sufficient to crack the exam. 2 to 3 examiner reports, the latest exams on the practice platform and the mock exam. I think if you do this rigorously, properly, Faisal Tawfiq, you will definitely be cracking the triple exam. Okay, there is another question from Fahad Qureshi. Sir, how important is Study Hub? Study Hub is important, no doubt about that. That's a wonderful resource ACCA has created, but it's totally up to you. If you are a self-study student, reliance on Study Hub would be greater. But if you are under a guidance of a tutor, then you should stick to the guidance given to you by the tutor and follow the set of instructions, notes, and materials the tutor is sharing with you. But if you're self-studying, then definitely Study Hub is important. Okay, there's another question from Alvin. So how many question past papers would you recommend? Alvin, I just gave that answer to Muhammad Faisal Tawfiq as well. The ones on the practice platform. So I think go to the practice platform, see how many papers are there from 23, 22, 21, and 20. So you're practicing papers from 20, 21, 22, 23, the ones on the practice platform, including the mock exam. But please ensure you are reading a couple of examiner reports even. Okay, there is another question from a student, Anosh. Sir, please tell where I can revise the accounting treatment. Yes, if you are my regular student, Nosh, then I've given a couple of links to revise accounting standards on in my WhatsApp group. But if you're not my regular students, yes, there are plenty of good guidance on YouTube channel to revise through your accounting standards. So you can search the relevant standards on YouTube. And even the last chapter of the BPP and Kaplan book is a wonderful summary of your accounting standards as well. Okay, there's another question from Dorcas, sir, a knowledge-based question on quality management came in December 23. Yes, I totally agree with you. Should we expect other knowledge-based exams in the next sitting? See, wherever the examining team has written an article, recent articles, you should expect something about knowledge for 6 to 8 marks. So I think plenty of articles were written by examining team on quality management, two of them, and plenty of knowledge was given by the examining team around quality management. So the testing was very much fair. Uh, and the testing was very much in line with what the examining team has guided you through the examiner articles. So I always recommend my students to read examiner articles, the latest one, even the knowledge, because examining team can test you for knowledge given in the examiner articles as they did in the December 23 exam around quality management. I hope you're getting the answer, Dorcas. Okay, there is another question, sir. I will take lectures and finish them by 15th. Yes, if you're finishing lectures by 15 and then starting to make a practice timetable, I think that would be good enough for you. Okay, so I hope you're all getting your answers. And that finishes off the list of questions currently I have on my screen. Okay, there is another question from Ahad. So when will you hold a perspective session with any distinction holders for AAA? Ahad, this will be done within this week. Expect this by Thursday or Friday. A session on perspective, as I have done for the earlier exams, and I will be taking hold of my high achievers for December, and I will be talking to them so you can listen to them how they have prepared in the last 30, 40 days ahead of exam. What should you do in the last 30, 40 days, and how should you increase the prospects of passing? So just keep hold. Probably this week the session will be held. Okay, another question from Sayyid Ahmed Pasha. So I have completed 2 blocks. Any advice on how I can complete the syllabus in time? I think if you've done 2 blocks, you're going fine. We have like 45 days from now onwards. So try finishing off the technical part by 15th, as I was guiding to another student, and post 15th Feb, you can aim at practice. Okay, Fahad. So do you have a short revision course for the part-time students? Yes, definitely I have it. You can just WhatsApp me at +92 333 238 3442. So if you can just WhatsApp me, I can share the details of the short revision course, which you can use for your benefit, Fahad. So I hope you know my WhatsApp number, and you can just reach me out at my WhatsApp number, and then I'll get in touch with you, right? Okay. Another question from Rahul. Sir, should I continue with block 4 or start with webinar? Continue with block 4. First finish off all the block 4s under my syllabus, and then you can switch to webinars. But try finishing off the block 4 in the next 3 to 4 days max. Okay. Okay, so all of you who were there in the live session, if you can just drop me a quick reply, have you got the importance of reading through the examiner reports? And will you make a habit of doing that ahead of the March 24 exams? Will you be reading the 2 to 3 latest examiner reports and investing time on it? And will uh, has this message gone to all of you? If you can just put a quick reply with yes or something that assure me that yes, it has gone through, or you can just press the like button if this message has gone to you of reading through the examiner reports. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Ahad, for confirming that. And definitely, sir, very useful, and it is very useful. Thank you. Okay, Shamisu is saying yes. Okay, thank you so much. So the purpose was to disseminate the message of importance of examiner report. I'll be doing a December 23 examiner report session where I'll investigate it myself. That would be an eye opener for all of you on my YouTube channel in the next week or so. Stay tuned for that. And please ensure you are a regular subscriber of my YouTube channel, because if any video gets uploaded, you automatically get information of that. So I wish you all a very best of luck for your upcoming March 24 exams, and thank you so much for participating in the social media live session on failure in December 23 exams and the importance of examiner report. I hope you've thoroughly benefited from it. And many thanks for participating from my Facebook page, YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Take very good care of yourself. Study effectively. Your tutor Kashif Kamran signing off from this session. Goodbye and Allah Hafiz.